Welcome to Build Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to work on a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote into the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like just lurking, you can go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Hey. It's a Thursday. I'm going to work on a model kit. I'm working on the Round Table Knights Iron Sickle Kai. Hello, Lashbrook. SNAA is a Chinese company. This is their original design. Basically, they did a bunch of knights for Knights of the Round Table style, and the Iron Sickle has sights on it. We're building the inner frame. It has a seemingly complete inner frame that we'll build and then put armor on top of it, which I was not expecting. It seems to be at least partially inspired by Ironblood Orphans model kit designs, which is cool. We like that because I do like the Ironblood and Orphan kits. So we'll see how that all comes together. So far, the instructions leave a little bit to be desired, but in general, it seems pretty cool and pretty competent as a kit. I've heard good things about SNAA. So also, there's a fly in my room, and I tried to kill it before the stream started. It didn't work out. I tried to kill it before we went live here. Didn't work out. So I will probably lose my mind throughout tonight's stream, just so you know. There's a good chance that I will just completely and utterly go insane because of this fucking fly. I mean, I turned a bunch of lights on right before the stream went, and I think that just... it was somewhere in the room and then suddenly just decided it was going to make my life miserable. There's a few flies here and there. It's been so hot. I'm not surprised about it, but yeah. Hopefully audio sounds good. I am using the new device here. I have a new longer USB cable and also a new longer XLR cable. And so all of this should be sounding good together. I'm going to hit you're going to hear doubling of audio just for a second. You're going to hear doubling of audio just for a second. It's not doubling. I don't know why I say doubling. It's you're going to hear a repeat, an echo. You're going to hear an echo of audio as I go and listen. Because I don't... this is a fun fact. Some people, when they stream, they have their own voice in their ears. I don't like that. So I don't have that. This is just for alert sound effects, dance music, if people cash in their channel points for the dance music, stuff like that. Sound effects that I might play, pre-show music, just stuff like that. But it does not have my own voice in it, which would probably be easier for like levels and like all that. But I just don't like it, so I don't do it. This fucking fly. I opened my door hoping that it would leave my room, and it did not. But I can't leave my door open because there are other people in this house. I'm going to try to ignore it. We'll see. Let's go to the overhead camera. Boom. Overhead camera. Here you go. All right. So we've got the chest, torso, skeleton. The instructions just say leg skeleton and various other skeletons. The inner frame here. We got the chest. We have the arms. We have one leg, not done, but close to done. And we have the waist. And then we'll, of course, be adding on armor once we're done. And I thought it'd be kind of neat to just work on the whole frame as they wanted, and then we'll fill in parts as we go. We are working on the right leg right now, so we will start getting that all together here. Again, I would say that this is not this is heavily inspired by the Ironblood Orphan style kits. It does not feel like a knockoff or a rip-off, but it does feel inspired by that, which is neat. Lord Crashington just subscribed. That's 84 months. Thank you very much for subscribing for 84 months total. That's very, very cool. Welcome, Lord Crashington. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank Lord Crashington for the continued support. The continued support means a lot. Appreciate you. go. And some emotes in the chat. This is so it looks like we're going to be doing some armor here. It looks like we're not building the entire frame without putting some armor on it. This is the first piece of plastic that we're building with that is not this color dark gray. It is something else, and that's cool. We like that. So we'll put that aside here. Then we need D25 and D23, and then I9 and I8. Oh, cool. More color. So we will get a little bit of color in the legs here. I9 and I8. Yeah, okay. We'll pop these out here. And get these together. I hope you're doing well out there on the old internet. I'm doing just fine. I was looking forward to tonight's stream. In the second hour, I've got, if you can believe it, 3 anime to talk about. Usually I only talk about 2, but there's a bunch of good anime that I wanted to talk about. And so I was like, well, as of right now, I'm still watching the Oblivious Saint Container Power because I like the manga and I'm interested to see, how the anime adaptation goes. I like the story, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep with that. I'll keep up with that for a bit. And then the other thing is like, I might drop it, but right now I'm like, I'm still into it. And then there were 2 other shows I wanted to talk about that came out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Also, it's harder to do this now, these days. But like, I don't like it when the only shows I watch and talk about on stream are Crunchyroll shows. Because I do watch shows from other streaming services. It's just that sometimes those streaming services I don't that I do watch, I don't cover the things that are on there all the time. And so I was like, well, I'd like to do a little bit more of that. I think that would be a good idea. Because right now, most of the stuff I'm watching that I'm talking about is on Crunchyroll. Sparks of Tomorrow is on Netflix, so I am watching that. But I was like, why don't I'm paying for HIDIVE and Prime. Why don't I talk about some shows that are on those? So for now, anyway, I've got 2 shows that are like that. That are on those channels, and I thought that was or streaming platforms, so that'd be good. Very light anime news here. You may see aggregate, channels on social media that are light on details. Talk about the new Tenchi Muyo series. Tenchi Galaxy is coming. You might even see, several members of the original English dub are returning for finally, Tenchi Muyo is coming back, which Tenchi Muyo last wrapped up OVA 5 in 2021. It ran, I think, 2020 to 2021 or 2019 to 2021. It's still going. It's not a dead property or anything. But if you see people talking about that, I need, or maybe you'll even see HoloLive talent Narissa Ravencroft voicing character in newest Tenchi Muyo series. I need you to know that this is a Kickstarter. This is blessings from AIC, but it is a company that is just trying to make a pilot. They are kickstartering a pilot for a new Tenchi series. And again, they have the blessing of not to release it to people, but they have the blessing to raise money to make that pilot, to then do a pilot presentation. So just understand what that is when you see that. They paid for new artwork. This group whose name escapes me, and that's on me. My apologies. I can probably find it. Let's see. Tenchi Muyo Galaxy pilot by Armature Entertainment. Now, Armature Entertainment, this is their second Kickstarter project. Their first Kickstarter project was an art book that has not come out yet about Tenchi Muyo, which is licensed. Again, I should say licensed. This is not just like a fan project. It's like one step above a fan project because they have like some permissions to try this stuff, but it is not it is not the rights holders of Tenchi Muyo and it is not AIC and Negishi, the creator of Tenchi Muyo, being like, hey, we're kickstarting a new Tenchi project. It's not them. It's a company pitched them an idea to which that company said, okay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I would not get... one, I would not back this Kickstarter. And two, I would not get my hopes up. As I said, their previous Kickstarter happened. It's just that they haven't gone out yet. It's like a big book, but you can get like... you can also get like... so I should say, they are going to make the pilot presentation available for people that back it. So it is if they actually make the thing, it will be probably kind of rare if you are someone that is a collector of that kind of thing. But yeah, this is not the creator of Tenchi Muyo doing a new series. It is a series based on a draft he wrote years and years ago about a continuation series. And again, must stress, Tenchi Muyo, not done. Continues. Has continued. Has had spin-off shows throughout the years. Had an isekai. Because, of course, Tenchi Muyo is not an isekai. It's not a reverse isekai. It's just an action series. Because Tenchi is from Earth. So it's not an isekai. And he's the main character. But yeah, there are things about it that I'm like, this is interesting. That this is like maybe a thing that happens. Like maybe this happens. And that's kind of interesting. But I'm not like holding my breath about it. Because that would be crazy for me to expect that to happen. But I would also say, don't back this Kickstarter. This is don't pay for a pilot presentation to exist, even if you get a copy of it, of said pilot presentation. All right, so this has to go in here, and that has to go into this thing. Yeah. Okay, so that goes in like that. This goes into that channel. Okay. And then this piece folds on here, I want to say. I don't know how it wouldn't. Also, getting a verbal agreement that a well-known VTuber is going to be part of your project is a great way to get some advertisement about the thing that you're trying to do. But it's also a great way to get sued later on for breach of contract. So if this turns out to be a scam, and they in any way promised a cover employee of the Hololive branch money or anything, there's the legal side of it, and then there's also the side of it where there's a bunch of people who are rabid fans, the jailbirds. That is what fans of Narissa Ravencroft, VTuber extraordinaire, refer to themselves. They refer to themselves as jailbirds. She's part bird. Don't you know? She's a demon bird. And so if like one negative word from them, and like it would get bad. It would get very bad for these people. So hopefully they're all on the up and up, but it's It feels like if you gave money to this, in a couple years, you'd be like, hey, whatever happened to that? And the answer would be like, I don't fucking know. Which brings me into our first story. Project Phoenix. A Kickstarter for a RPG with a JRPG style game with squad-based RTS game design. By a group called CIA Inc., that's not good. In 2013, they were like, hey, this is the thing we want to fucking make. We want to make Project Phoenix. And we will get it done in 2 years. And they raised $1 million. So the timeline is important. So I want to stress the timeline here. 2013, run the Kickstarter. Successful, unbelievably successful Kickstarter, raise $1 million. Now, to make a full JRPG for $1 million, that's certainly doable. It's a lot of fucking money, but it's like, budgets and all that, and time and energy and expectations get higher and higher. And, the thing with Kickstarter is getting more money doesn't mean bigger and better necessarily. It just means oftentimes higher expectations, but whatever. They raise $1 million. They're like, it's going to be ready in 2015. You're like, oh, wow. Okay. So it was mostly done then. I don't know the answer to that part. Anyway, that was supposed to be March 2015. Obviously it slipped to December 2015. And people were patient, but also anxious and wondering what the fuck was going on. And they were like, okay, so it won't be ready until 2018. In 2019, silence. Updates have stopped. No news. No communication. Nothing. As always, folks, with a Kickstarter, you are just paying for the idea to exist. You would like to see something exist in the world, and maybe you get some stuff. But it is not a contract. It is not a guarantee. It is just, you're just putting out, you are helping something along, perhaps. There was an update on the 7th. Now, that was an update just for backers and not on the page that anyone can read, but it has been shared on Reset Era. Somebody copied all of it to send out. This is July 7th, the first update in 7 years. And I'll talk about the update, but let me cut to the chase on this one. There's a new release date for Project Phoenix. 2031. The plan is that they're gonna that it can get done and release in 2031. Reminder: 2013 Kickstarter, expected release 2015. 16 years after they said that it was going to be out, they think it will be out. This is fucking incredible. It is unbelievably great. So this is Hiroka Yura put a statement out here to everybody. It has been 7 years since my last update. I'm not going to soften that or bury it further down the page. You backed this project, you trusted me with it, and then you heard nothing for a very long time. The silence is mine to answer for. I owe you a full explanation, and more than that, I owe you proof that Project Phoenix is still alive. The proof, we're not going to talk about the proof, because the proof is like, okay, doesn't seem that much different from other things you showed, but okay. More, it's just that, like, you're like, all right, well, how did it get to this, Pat? How did this happen like this, where there weren't any updates? Well, the answer is simple. It's just So simple. Yura was like, I had a rule that I would only post updates when I had something to say, which I have heard so often from people who run Kickstarters. That is when Kickstarters ghost for a really long time, when projects ghost for a long time, the first thing they say every fucking time is, well, I didn't want to update you that there were no updates. And I was like, that's an update, which I say every time when I hear that. That's a fucking update. The update is, hey, we're still working on the game. Like, you spent 7 years and you didn't have anything to say. Like, hey, just so you know, everyone's working from home on this because you know, or whatever. Basically, he has worked on other games and shipped them. No money from the Kickstarter was used on other games. He promises he hasn't used the money on the other games that he has made and shipped. We did not get rich off those games. We are not anywhere close to rich. Which is like, yeah, man, but you also got $1 million to make a video game, and it's 13 years after the Kickstarter ran, and you're saying it'll be another 5 years before a game comes out. So you didn't talk to anyone about the game publicly for 7 years. I mean, I've seen worse, but it's fucking wild, y'all. It's this kind of story I really needed, because a lot of what we'll talk about here is just like unbelievable sadness and bullshit in gaming. So to be able to like have something where I'm like, oh man, all right, sure, okay. It's a little lightheartedness that I felt like I needed, and maybe you needed as well. There's a new theme song. He's got a new theme song, and it's the rough mix and not final. He literally shared a theme song made by Nobu Umasta. So that's fucking cool as hell. But still, it's not even done. Also, when I say 2023, he's saying by the end of 2023. So good luck to everybody that has been waiting patiently for that. God, how many people will have? Ooh, okay. Let's do like the silly one, and then we'll do the serious questions of, you backed this in 2013. In 2031, do you still play video games? Do you play JRPGs? Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Are you still, gaming at all? Playing RPGs? What is your life like? You know, like, do you have a system that can play this when it comes out? Like, what are you doing with it? And then also, they raised $1 million in 2013 for this project. Let's say it releases in 2031. Are you paying attention to Kickstarter? Do you see that email? Do you still have that email address? Do you like look at Kickstarter for updates? Did you know it actually came out? Are you even aware of it? And then we'll end on the most morose one. Are you alive? 18 years. Yes, we're building some robots. You back a Kickstarter in 2013. In 2031, you still with us? Like, what's the deal? I don't know. I don't think that's a unfair question to ponder. It's many, many years. It's a bunch of wild shit, man. That someone finally made an update on that. So Project Phoenix. I'll say this, friends. I don't think I'll be model kit building on Twitch in 2031. I don't think I will be. You might be. You might be watching Twitch in 2031. I don't think I will be streaming in 2031. So I don't know if I'll be able to give an update on the next time. Like, I don't think I will be able to. So this is my first Knights of the Round kit. This is my first SNAA. I'm a sucker for Scythe. Death Scythe is my favorite Gundam. I'll build them all, yes. So I'm a sucker for the Death Scythe in particular, but a model kit that has Scythe. So I saw this and was like, oh, I haven't built from this company before. I like knight themed kits. That's knight with a K. I like those a lot. So let me give this a shot. So far, pretty solid. It's not. Oh, okay. Here we go. Sorry. Like the plastic feels pretty good. It's I would say you get this from learning. You get this from doing it over and over again. I would say like. The placement of the pieces on the sprues is not necessarily ideal. It is like, and that's a difficult thing for anybody to pull off. This feels like a third-party company. It does not feel like a bootleg company, a fly-by-night. They are not pretending to be anything. It feels legit, which is nice. So that's fun. Also, as mentioned previously, as you can see on here, every bit of the box, the instructions, the promo image that I went out does say Iron Sicky instead of Sickle. It does say Iron Sicky. So that's also accidentally fun. That makes me sicky. Yeah, just a little sicky. Speaking of feeling sicky, boy, hey, there's a lot of layoffs in the games industry this week. We talked about it on Monday, and we have more information to talk about that today. I now, unfortunately, can say that I have some friends who no longer work in the game. They currently don't work in the games industry, not by choice. We'll see how things work out for them. There were big layoffs at GameSpot. They are obviously not the game industry, but they are the industry that covers games. Another round of layoffs for them, which is, yeah, man. I think I know a couple people still that work there, but it ain't many people. I don't know a lot of people anymore that work there. It is 4 staffers and 5 freelancers. A lot of the like buying guide stuff, the deals editor, and you'd think deals editor, like that's a stable thing, right? Like, but no, none of it is stable. None of it is good. Nobody knows what websites can do or should do these days. It is just it's just fucking rough out there. Real rough out there, both on making and covering games. Let's see. Chris Grant got laid off. That and you're like, wait, why do I know that name? You may know Chris Grant as the guy that left Vox Media when Polygon was sold to Valnet last year. Chris, who was the co-founder of Polygon, was out of that. Right? Wasn't part of the transition team. Left then. went to GameSpot and for fandom, and became in charge of GameSpot, Metacritic, GameFAQs, and TV Guide. So they laid off the guy in charge of all of those sites, which is probably not good for any of those websites. Fandom did not release a statement. I'm reading an Aftermath article on this. This is the 5th round of layoffs that they have had in recent years. I continue to be, I know it is a different business model now and it is tough for them, but I continue to be so thankful that the fine folks at Giant Bomb pooled their money to take a shot at running Giant Bomb as an independent. Good luck to them as they continue to figure out how to make that shit work, because it's rough. We will get into Microsoft and all of those layoffs because they are numerous articles. Before we get into that, I will say that IO Interactive, an update to IO Interactive, they did have layoffs. Microsoft canceled their support of a project, which led to the layoffs, as they had to basically make that project have less people working on it. There's no excuse about it. It's just the reasons for it. They are closing their Istanbul studio. The Danish studio, IO Interactive, does have laid off an undisclosed number, closing that studio. They do have full ownership of the project. After Microsoft decided they would not continue to support it. Also, this is, this sucks, right? Because First Light is an incredible success for them, critically and commercially, a huge success. It's a licensed game. They got to pay the license. So they're making probably less money on that than they would with another game. But they have that success, but that success does not. Unfortunately, we do not live in a landscape of video games where a huge success for one game means that you can float and just have a thing like an investor pulling out funding for a game will just destroy you, even if you have a successful other game. The successful other game means that you don't start laying people off as soon as the game comes out, which certainly happens and has happened for years, but now it is increasingly likely, success or not. Oh, well, we don't have a new game to move these people onto, so we just have to start laying people off. That is just, unfortunately, a big reality in games at the moment, and it absolutely sucks. External devs should be wary of Xbox publishing deals. I mean, what I should say, Lord Crashin, is that publishing deal was in 2023. So, yeah, man, read the tea. Nobody can fucking read the tea leaves. That Microsoft, who at the time was buying studios, investing in other studios, and paying a lot of money to grow their business, that 3 years later they were going to be like, actually, fuck you. Turns out we don't want video games to come onto our platform. Yes, I am sure that every other studio out there, I am sure that every other studio that is out there is fucking worried about the deals they made with Microsoft, and when Microsoft is going to decide actually, no, we also don't want to support your thing. Yeah, I'm sure that every single fucking studio out there that took money from Microsoft at any time in the last 5 years is like, shit. What happens when they remember they gave us money and they owe us more money as part of our agreement? What happens then, you know? It's fucking rough. Enjoy, hang out, chill out. I'm building a model kit from a Chinese company called SNAA. It is an original design, loosely based on Knights of the Round Table. So it is the King Arthur shenanigans, loosely based on that. I think it's just a brand so they could make a bunch of knight-themed kits, which I'm not complaining about as a fan of knight-themed kits. But yeah, it's a fucking bummer. All right. This is a 144 scale. I would, but that feels weird to say because this is just I don't know what this company thinks of as 144, because this is not a Bandai kit. So like, it does have an inner frame that feels pretty sturdy. Earlier I likened this kit to this feels very inspired by Iron Blooded Orphans and the Full Mechanics line for Iron Blooded Orphans, which I must stress, full mechanics means unfortunately two different things when it comes to Bandai. Full mechanics used to mean it's not like a master grade, but it has a full inner frame. It's like this weird in between. Now, full mechanics means a different thing where it's like, well, we're not going to make a master grade of this, but we do want to make something that has a lot of gimmicks, and it's not really a high grade. So it just means two kind of different things. But the Iron Blooded Orphans full mechanics line had like a full frame that you built first. It was the 1/4 scale, and it was just like kind of different. It was like not a real grade, but not really a high grade. And that's what this reminds me of. So I don't know how sturdy it's going to be. I've never made a kit from this company before. It doesn't feel like weak, you know? This is the only armor. This is the only armor we put on here that's not just a dark gray frame. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this kit. I am interested to find out where this is going. Because it's so far pretty interesting design, we'll say. Let's see here. Okay, goes there. All right, Microsoft stuff. Lots of Microsoft stuff to talk about here. We're getting numbers here for the first rounds of layoffs. There will be, it does not look like there will be a strike. I'm talking about, but there's union activity. The Bethesda Game Studios union workers are preparing for a quote unquote major rally action next week in protesting the Xbox layoffs that impacted 440 union workers in both Bethesda and ZeniMax. Because that is one of the many union houses. So there's going to be marches in Montreal, Rockville, Maryland, Austin, and Dallas, Texas. Let's see. And so we'll go about the individual the individual studios, because some are numbers that were released, some are numbers because of like the WARN Act in California. We are starting to get some information about how many people have been laid off in various places. Xbox has laid off 379 ZeniMax workers in Maryland. That was 213 employees at the Elder Scrolls Online developer ZeniMax Online Studios. This is the Maryland Department of Labor has this WARN notice that it issued. So that is how we get some of these numbers, because otherwise we would not get these numbers. That people would be doing LinkedIn and they would be doing head counts, and there would be information leaked out internally. Right now, the biggest information being leaked out internally is just devs saying, hey, I don't know how they expect us to do anything with the numbers we have, which is always terrible, obviously. Yes, and union solidarity, of course. We talk often about union activity here, both continued union activity at Ubisoft, especially internationally, in Europe, and how Avalanche, we do not know. Avalanche right now hasn't laid off anybody, but they will. There will be layoffs because they are a French company, there are more steps than just we laid some people off. And it's a long process, and their packages, the people that do get laid off, will be better than some other folks across Microsoft are going to get, because there are some protections. It will not prevent this, but a lot of these are meant, these things are meant to make it so companies don't want to lay off people as easily or as many people, because it is just extra work that they don't have to do in other places. And I would say, I imagine that there is already talk of people who still work at Microsoft about all of the people who are not currently in a union and how it is time to unionize that. Either full studio unions or unions within the larger scopes of it. I am sure that there is plenty of talk. While at the same time, there are people who are just trying to figure out logistics of okay, well, who do I report to now? And what are my job? What am I working on now? Various things like that. What do you mean we're making a new Fallout? What? Oh, okay. I guess we're making a new Fallout. That seems like a choice. Okay. Various things of that nature. Look, I am not going to be one of the people that goes, I'll say this. Fallout New Vegas is my favorite modern Fallout game. Obsidian making a Fallout game 2 weeks ago, I would be like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Now it's like, well, what really is Obsidian right now? How many people who are at Obsidian that were there for Fallout New Vegas still work for Obsidian? Or even at any of the companies within the umbrella of Bethesda? How many of those folks still there? How many were not just laid off? The name of the studio lends itself to history, but it's the people that are the actual history. Yeah. 52 Obsidian workers laid off. Right now, looks like it will be up. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Looks like it will be up to as many as 60 to 70. California staff, 9 remote workers. Of course, we know this because of the worker adjustment and training notification in California. Originally, they thought it was going to be 70. Right now, we know it's 52. More could be coming. Grounded 2 still being worked on, DLC for it. Grounded 2 still being worked on, DLC for Outer Worlds 2 in production. And now they're gonna make another Fallout game. Well, I appreciate that, Boom. So we do talk about light things here. is just that there's a lot out there to talk about that is, unfortunately not the best news when it comes to gaming stuff. And we don't pretend that, everything's great. Like, we do talk about fun, silly things. In the second hour of the stream, which will be about 10 minutes or so, I will talk about, anime that I'm fucking hyped for, new anime that's out. Fucking hyped for it, and I want to talk about it because I'm excited about it. So, there will be some fun. But also, yeah, I don't know. Shit's also rough out there, and we talk about that too. 136 workers at id Software. The quote going around, the anonymous quote going around, basically we are support studio sized. Man, 158 workers, at ZeniMax Media. That's 40 remote workers. Austin Studio got hit. And 146 of the 158 workers that were laid off are union workers, too. And so all of that is a lot to kind of think about. It is that is enormous amount of talent that just doesn't work there anymore. That is I don't often talk about this part of it in regards to all this stuff. So I got laid off from a job that a company I worked for 16 years. And I got hey, we're closing the theater on this date, and then you won't be an employee with us anymore. And it was a lot. And that was a thing where it wasn't hey, you're laid off immediately. It was I still worked there. And there was a lot to unpack with that. It's a different sort of situation, certainly, but and I should say, I can now understand that I did not handle that well mentally, was not good about it. And my relationship with that place was not good. I did not have a good mental relationship with my job. And I know that now. I did not fully understand at the time. So I... and of course, there's word that layoffs are coming. Everybody knows that once it hits July, shit will hit the fan. The leader of Xbox leaves, and then the heir apparent also leaves, and it's and they bring in somebody that's not from games, that seems to be from another division within Microsoft, that seems exclusively to be there to be the person that fires a lot of people and then moves on to another job eventually, because what the fuck do they care if gamers hate them for the rest of their lives? What do they care? Related, Asha Sharma, I should say, has joined the Federal Reserve Task Force on Jobs and Productivity. This is a group that for the U.S. government will assess the economic impact of new general-purpose technologies like AI. Now, was she put on that because she worked for Core AI within Microsoft? Yeah, she's a Microsoft exec with quote-unquote AI experience that has buzz about her because she's been in the news. So she gets invited to do that kind of thing. She's also somebody that in her previous jobs has been on boards. She's been in startups. She was on podcasts talking about AI as part of her job. It does not have anything to do with the fact that she's been firing people at Xbox. The timing of it is interesting, is the wrong word. Somewhat ironic that a jobs task force someone just adding the jobs task force after reducing 1,600 jobs with another 1,600 to come. But you also have to remember that the Trump administration, let me be clear, the Federal Reserve task force on jobs and productivity, they're probably going to come to the conclusion that more jobs should go away in favor of AI doing it. Like, they're not, like, that's, you know what I mean? Consider whether policymakers' means and methods. Like, basically, this task force is going to be like, hey, should we be putting AI in schools, and how much should we put in AI in schools, and how much should we be using it that, and who should we invest in, and who should we underwrite when they inevitably collapse because they can't turn a profit and they've run out of funding? Who should we bail out? Like, it's not like they're like trying to figure out like making new jobs in the wake of all of this. Like, that's not what this is. Yeah. So it's just, it all is bad. I think that's the obvious thing to say there. I'm not talking out of school when I say all of this is fucking bad. Yeah. Working with her is an economist. Economist. Why am I saying it like that? Economist. Jesus, bad. From Stanford University, who works with. Hey, weird. So Charles Jones is also on there. So weird. He's a Stanford University economist, but also works with Anthropic, the AI people. Also, Mark Anderson of Anderson Horowitz, who is a fucking ghoul. It's bad. All of it is bad. But that is just like bitterly ironic more than anything else. It is not telling of anything. Task force and look, task forces and being on boards and all of that are just resume patterns and connection making for the next job that Sharma is going to have when this thing goes. When her time gutting Xbox ends, and it is time for her to go on to her next job, that's all it is. It's just like, okay, yeah, she did it well enough in startups that went public to move into companies that are not startups, they're big public companies, and get on boards and do all of that stuff. And now she will jump from company to company if there are not internal ways for her to get raises, to get more responsibility, to get a bigger paycheck, to get a bigger name. Then she will go outside of those places. And again, it's not like she was like, oh, I want to work for a bigger and better in video games. Like, so it's fine that she will be forever associated with Phil Spencer will be the modern name that gets said when talking about the failure at Xbox. She's in some ways preventing other people at Microsoft from taking any heat in the future. She will absorb some of that heat. She might even take a heat away from guy that probably still wants you to think he's cool, Matt Booty. Like, maybe she'll take some of his heat, and he won't have as much heat when he inevitably starts his own studio somewhere, you know, like does whatever, goes to another company to be in charge of their stuff, and acts like his time at Microsoft was some of his favorite times in gaming, and the teams he worked with, and the people, and the games that came out, and all that. And you're like, we remember when you worked there, though, dude. Matt Booty also has the benefit of his name is Matt Booty. And so half a generation from now, people will just enjoy saying his name, and it will be okay that he was at Microsoft during all of this. Because his name is Matt Booty, and that is fun to say out loud. So that does help a bit with whatever the fuck comes of the rest of his time at Microsoft and Xbox. And whatever the fuck Xbox ends up doing. Because who the fuck knows? All right, this piece did not go in properly here. It's sticking up. So I'm going to have to wedge this open. In a couple of moments, we will take a pause for the cause. I will advertise myself. I will give you opportunities if you're interested to support what I do here that are all optional. You do not have to do in any way, shape, or form. But I will say those things. I will do the pause for the cause and promote myself and my various many things that I'm up to and into. And then we will talk about some new anime while I continue to work on this model kit. There we go. Well, no, that's pulling out. Let me try the other side. Let me see if this fits better on this side. Tolerances here have been pretty good so far, but occasionally, like I gotta do just a little extra trimming that normally would be fine. But like, I'm like, oh, actually, no, this does not want to snap in place here. Every once in a while, I have to get in there with the nippers and give a little bit more of a trim to get these pieces to line up properly. Okay. There we go. Yeah. This is not as clean as I would like, but whatever. I could also trim it down later if I need to. Just pop that up and trim it down if I have to later. But right now, it looks like it'll be okay when the time comes to put this thing. Oh no, although back piece. Yeah. What's up here? What's up with this? Why is this? Why are these? Oh, you know what? I think this is me. I think I put these on the wrong one, and that's why this is not coming together here. I think these gold pieces here I may have put on backwards because they're supposed to kind of go out like that, and these are going straight. So I believe I have done these wrong, and that is why this is not closing right. So I believe that the error is an error of mine, which is embarrassing, but happens. We'll pop this open here. Luckily, the spudger is doing its job and removing these plastic. These are new. This is a new spudger. It is smaller than my previous ones, but I still like it. I have to be careful, though, because this tip is sharp. It's pokey. So I have to be careful of that as I go into to wedge things. I have to do it like this and not like this, because then I'm just stabbing myself. All right, come on. Separate pieces. Try to do this without... Obviously, the goal always is to do this without breaking anything. All right, let's pop this one out. Let's pop this one into here. And let's see if that... Yes, this instantly looks right. We will take a pause for the cause here in a moment or two, but let me just get this segment done because it'll be annoying to do it later. All right, so these go like that. That goes like that. That's still in there like that. This goes in like this. Oops. This falls out a couple times. Hey. The other leg, this did not give me any trouble at all. So it's weird that this one is giving me some guff here. I did get a longer mic cable I mentioned at the top of the stream. So I'm pretty much set up with this new mic system here that I did receive the interface from a friend of mine, and I am enjoying it. It does way more than I needed to do, but it's still good at what I needed to do, which is convert a XLR input into a USB-C or USB 3.1 or 3.0 signal, and it's doing that. It's doing that, which is what I needed to do. All right, this isn't clean here, but it's still together, and this works a lot better, and this back part is actually snipped together. So hopefully the fact that these don't look identical will be okay. Yeah, this is just bunched up a little bit. I don't know why, but hopefully that'll be fine. And if not, I'll take this apart again. We'll finish the foot on this. After the pause of the calls, we'll do the foot, and then we'll work on the head. We'll actually get a head for this, and then it'll be time to start putting on some exterior armor on this thing as well. Cool. I'll go through this kind of fast if I can here. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm going to talk about here is optional. You do not have to do any of these things, but if you would like to, that would be great. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote into the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with your Twitch. Yes, these are the a age-old promotion in Japan where they had for Pizza Hut, where they imagined a world where cats ran the pizza place, and they did a bunch of live-action commercials with these cats, and it was a good time. We just got a new subscriber. Thank you so much. You throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe Tier 2 blue emote in chat, and thank very much Sylvia for subscribing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Enjoy your emotes, not seeing pre-roll ads or anything else during the stream. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. We'd love to see number go up and all of those shenanigans. So, subscribing here on Twitch, easiest way to support what I do here. I also have a Patreon, though. Patreon.com/PatBear, an alternative way to support what I do here. At the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier, there are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. They're all small rewards, but like my $3, $5, and $10 patrons are currently voting on what I'm going to play next Tuesday, because every Tuesday I play video games or talk over wrestling or do something, or do a tier maker list, whatever. Currently, I have 3 games on the list, and brand new, came out last month, DLC for Dorf Romantic is winning. So some tile placement. That is currently winning the poll for me to do next week, which would be cool, because I did receive a code for that DLC, and I would like to play it on stream at some point. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can, of course, subscribe for free, and please do. While you're over there, you can also become a member. And for just $2 a month, you can get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. That's all it is. I do a weekly Wednesday video, and you'll just see it a day early. $2 for that. It's nice. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you just want to tip, I have a Ko-Fi and a PayPal, and you can make a direct donation like that. Everything I make through donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense. So if you end up watching some of my YouTube videos, I also get money from that. That goes into this, along with Patreon and Twitch, all goes into a fund. And money I pull out from that fund, I use to buy model kits and Lego sets. This kit, I pre-ordered this kit because of your generosity as a subscriber of some kind. So past you is helping out present me. And if you want to help out future me, you could subscribe to any of those methods. Now, I do have a cool backlog of fun stuff that I would love to build. I just got a new kit in the other day that is huge, that I'm very excited about working on. It's a giant weird thing from Zeta Gundam. I won't say which it is, but it's from Zeta. But there's this thing. You don't have to do this. Again, all of this is optional. But let's say you have an idea of like, Pat, don't build the stuff from your backlog, build something else. Well, the way to make that happen is to buy something from my Amazon wish list, which again, you don't have to do. But you can go to my Amazon wish list and you can buy something there. It will come to me in the mail, of course. I will make a dedicated YouTube video about that thing, unboxing it and talking about how this was purchased off the wish list, all that. And then it'll jump the queue. So when this kit is done, when I am done with this thing and it is time to move on to the next thing, instead of going to my backlog, I'll go to the thing you bought. Like if you want me to build the Lego 3-in-1 retro gaming console thing, I'll build that. Or the Mandalorian Grogu Razor Crest vehicle, I can build that model kit. Or if you want me to build a Votom from Votom's Brilliantly Shiny Heresy, the Bulgari dog high grade, I'll fucking build that. Don't you worry about it. You could build those, or you could buy those, and then I'll build them. Obviously, you don't have to do any of that, but some people like to do it. If you want to buy something for me to build, but you don't want to go through Amazon, I totally get that, and I respect it. I do have a wish list on Throne, and my Throne wish list includes stuff from Gundam Planet. Like, you can basically like buy me a thing that otherwise I would have bought at Gundam Planet, which is kind of neat. And there's a few other stores as well that I have model kits and such on there on that wish list. And then, of course, if you want to support me financially, but it has to be a really convoluted and complicated way, I've made a very complicated thing for you to do. Go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. They will send you an email with a gift card code. And then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. Again, unbelievably convoluted. People have done it. 2 people have done it. Maybe 3. At least 2 people have done it. If you want to support me, but you don't want to spend any money, I have a Discord that you could feel free to join. I post build photos at the end of every stream, so you don't fall behind if you miss a stream. And people post stuff they're working on, or just general stuff they think would be interesting to the community. Small little community on that Discord, but it's a good one. Couple video links for you to check out. I do this every season. When there's new anime out, one of the first things I do for my bi-weekly anime series called, or bi-monthly, whatever, Pat Baer's Anime Club. I made a video about all of the isekai that is out this season, because that is a subgenre that I enjoy. I enjoy the different world anime. I'll talk about one of those in a little bit. So I make a video every season where I talk about all of the isekai, in this case, 14 of them. And if I'm going to watch it, if I might watch it, and if I'm not going to watch it. Because some of them I don't want to watch. Jobless Reincarnation, season 3 or 4 or whatever is out. I'm not going to watch that. I don't like that show. So I talk about it. Or like Foodie Roadtrip. I'm fucking watching that because I like the manga a lot and it's really fun. Great premise. We'll get into that in a little bit, as I said. Let's see. Is there anything else that I wanted to say? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. It is a YouTube Shorts. I do it every Wednesday for a new episode, and I have a theme for every month. The theme of July is my favorite shows from the spring season. So that's April, May, June anime, and I talked about in this video, in under a minute, I tried to sell you on watching Witch Hat Atelier, which is my favorite new show of the year so far. Is it my favorite anime of the year so far? I won't say that, but it's up there. It's up there. There's some heavy hitters. This has been a fucking great year for anime. Witch Hat is fantastic. It tells the story of a girl that discovers, anyone can learn magic. And she learns that there is a heavy price for magic. Also, there's a grand conspiracy happening in the background. And sometimes that grand conspiracy is not in the background. It is directly dealing with her. Coco, a girl that I want good things for, but also, damn, Coco, you bring a lot of misfortune your way by being so curious about stuff. Damn, Coco. I'm not saying that the bad things should happen to her. I'm just saying they are somewhat warranted. She is the cause of some of her own problems. Again, not gonna try to act like she isn't she isn't trying her best. She is trying. All right, so I am going to talk about some new shows here that I have been watching in a moment. I am going to drink some water because I need to take a water break. And we got to get back to the overhead camera so that I can build the foot for this leg and then build the head. And we're going to do all of that right now. When I press this button, which I will right now. There we go. I had, for folks that don't understand that part of it, we do have to get back to this camera here. I just had to build in a time in the stream for me to drink water. When I'm doing video games on stream, I do take water breaks. I try my best to do it. When I am building model kits, I don't stop to drink water. And most of the time, I'll end the stream with like a good amount of water left. So I built in a time in the middle of the stream for me to drink water and force myself to drink water. It's it is a solution to a problem of my own fucking making. It is what it is. All right. So normally I only talk about 2 shows. One of these shows I might end up dropping, but right now I want to watch all of them. So I kind of just have 3 shows that we'll kind of talk through. In my discussions of these anime things, I'm going to give you the beats of things. I might talk about the style or, animation or my thoughts as we go, the feelings, but often it is somewhat of a summary of events that is taking place. Because I have found that I like that style of talking about those things, that in writing down what happens with a show, I am focusing on that show. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously. I prefer to watch my anime subbed, not dubbed. I do like a good dub. A good dub is great. I have friends in the voiceover industry, and I am thrilled for them that they get to work on cool shit. But also, I prefer the subs because it makes me focus. Writing notes makes me focus. These are all good things for me and my brain. The Oblivious Saint can't contain her power. The first episode was very slow. This is a banished in the banished category of the subgenre, or the kicked. There's no really like agreed upon name for this thing. It can be a different world anime in isekai. But this case it's not, and it doesn't always have to be that. But generally, it is a main character in the banished. We'll go with banished. The main character, in this case, Carolina, is through either negligence, misunderstanding, occasionally someone hiding their true abilities. Sometimes there's Heavy Night is a anime that is airing right now. That I think the anime, I'm not going to watch. The manga is interesting because it's really grotesque. The monsters are unbelievably unpleasant to look at in a compelling way. He gets kicked out of his house, and in the trauma of that, remembers that he is reborn from another world, and that this world is a video game world that he was very good at. And so they were maybe right to kick him out. Like that is, but most of the time, they're fucking up. In this case, our girl does not believe she's great. She's always been compared negatively to the real Saintess of the kingdom. She doesn't have magic powers. She doesn't have abilities. But somebody's got to marry this evil dude, this guy from the Empire. And so Carolina finds out that her dad has kind of been manipulated and doesn't hate her. And it's honestly kind of bittersweet. Her sister's always hated her. Everyone's always looked down on her to win the favor of her. But she does have a lovely moment with her dad, and she's like resigned, like, okay, I'm gonna go marry this guy, Edward. He's fucking scary. I don't have anything except my name, and so I'll do my final duty for the kingdom and all of that. Because he's supposed to be an ogre and a brute and a murderer and all this stuff. Turns out he seems pretty nice. He's very respectful, and she's like pleasantly surprised about that. He's kind of confused because she doesn't have like attendance or a lot of stuff. Like, doesn't seem to be treated well by her family, so he's confused about that. So they're going to the Empire. We meet the character Theodore, who is the assistant of Edward, and Theodore. Yes, I will say this right now: old heads like me will immediately recognize that there is the main male character is named Edward, and his supporting character is named Theodore. And I was like, we got Ted and Ed here. We got Theo and Ed. Okay. I was like, all right, sure, whatever. Vaguely British, European kind of names. Sure. They're gonna in 2 weeks the engagement will be announced, but it hasn't been announced yet. There's still lots of things to do with all of that, but it's coming. Carolina meets Colette, who is a young knight that is stationed to protect her because the carriage is attacked by bandits. Oh, fuck. There's some fighting. Colette gets injured, and Carolina prays for Colette and everybody there, and miraculously, her prayers are answered, and the mage that was doing healing is suddenly way stronger than he was previously. Because it got boosted. And the knights, including Edward, were like, yeah, when you prayed, like, I don't know, maybe it's psychosomatic, and they don't use that word, but they're like, I don't know, I felt really strong. I felt way stronger, like I was being helped by something. And she's just like, I've never seen that happen either. I was told as a child I had no aptitude for magic, so I don't fucking know. So obviously we, the audience, go, oh, she wasn't outwardly the Saintess, but her being there boosted power, and we get more evidence to make the conclusion, oh, this girl is actually just like special and powerful. She is the main character, and she is the Oblivious Saint that from the title of the fucking anime. They get to the city, the capital. Carolina meets the parents, the Emperor and the Empress, and they are both intimidating, of stature and power, but also the Empress is just so soaked that, one, her son is marrying someone that she's just proud and happy, and two, they're going to have a daughter. You know, daughter-in-law, but whatever. They're going to have a daughter, and now there's going to be a new member of the family, so they're like, they seem like they're going to be nice in-laws, so that's great. Carolina gets a maid named Marissa and a bodyguard named Owen. So now we've got kind of the supporting cast around her. Turns out, everybody's just like psyched about her. She is, so our girl is completely overwhelmed by the warm reception she's getting. The tutor is like, you're so adept and you understand all this. And she's just like, I was always told that I was so much slower than Fiona. She was being unfairly compared to her sister. And so she's like, oh, that's crazy. And then Theodore is just like, hey, you know, this country reevaluates people because the childhood aptitude tests aren't always set like right. Like some people are actually late bloomers. So when we have time, we'll get you retested because maybe we'll learn something. It's pretty clear that, you know, there's some stuff that it's clearly there are things that are different about what's going on with her. Also, they just kind of realize, again, to my point, that she is subconsciously doing all these things. They weren't attacked by monsters at all. And Carolina's just like, oh, yeah, you know, my country never really had a lot of encounters. We used to have a lot of monster encounters, but that all kind of, like, in my lifetime, we haven't really encountered too many. And so Theodore kind of thinks like, oh, yeah, well, that's probably because of the Saintess. But we know, yeah, girl, you don't have to deal with that shit because of your holy power. You basically, monsters don't want to fuck with you. And we figured that out because we are the audience and we understand this stuff better because we have watched or read stuff like this before. I'm working on the head now. That's a tiny piece. I'm going to be working with some tiny pieces, it looks like. Which is fine. All right, then I need E210, J19, and E, our first E, which is our clear. Also, hey, cliffhanger, because you got to have a cliffhanger in episode 2 because you want people to watch at least 3 episodes of your show before they decide they actually don't want to watch it. You got to get the 3 rule in. And so this episode ends on the cliffhanger of an assassin targets Carolina. But Colette, the maid, and Owen managed to protect her. Dang, girl, already having assassins after you. You just got there. And more to come in episode 3. I'm going to keep watching this one. I'm a sucker for this kind of show. Folks that have been around know me and know that I like dumb shit like this. I like to see how many episodes in before anyone starts figuring out that, like, oh, that's because, hey, wait a minute. Huh. Like, I like waiting to see how long it takes for that kind of shit. In this case, it is taking some time. All right, our first clear piece that we're using here, as you can see, most of the clear pieces are going to be for the stand, which I think is fucking awesome. One of the things I am most psyched about for this kit is the fact that the stand is clear. I don't know how good the stand is going to be, but I like that. I like that because, look, they want to have some clear pieces, so in order to have those clear pieces, they might as well also make some other stuff clear. And that's neat. All right, so let's assemble this head here before we put on the other parts of it. So, all right, so this is gonna go like. Oh. Okay, so that goes like that. And then this goes like that. Put on the face part. Okay, so let's talk about the Forbidden Saintess and her Foodie road trip in another world. Another Saintess. I talked about this one before, how I was amped for this because I've read the manga. I've not read all of the manga, but I've read a lot of it. And I really like the premise of this one. We'll discover it here as we go. But this is the kind of shit, it's one of those things do I have to watch both of these shows they're going to be different. They're different vibes, but they are both like banished. In this case, this is an isekai character, a character who was from a different world, who was also been kicked out and banished, which is fine because things are working out great for her. That's a good thing. So we meet Rin. We see her fishing on the side of a lake. She is in a fantasy world, and I think this is very fun. We learn more about her as we go. The opening moments of this is her fishing, and she reels in a guy who was a guy named Vile, who is just an ogre man, a gorgeous ogre guy who was just kind of like in the water, and so she rescues him, which she is certainly, seemingly not prepared for. She is unprepared for this to happen. He fell into the river while trying to get some food because a monster stole a bunch of his stuff. And he fell into the river, and they're eating some food, and so he explains what's going on with him, and then she explains the backstory, the necessary for us to continue. Wait, C213 is this piece here. That's right. Necessary backstory stuff for us to continue here. We get Rin's backstory. She's from Earth. She got transported by a bunch of mages along with high school student. So they summoned two people. So they looked at her, a young woman, but an adult woman, and the high school girl. And they were like, the high school girl is the this happened in a bunch of different stories, but they're like, that's the Saintess, you're the extra, get out of here, we don't need you. Which I should say is crazy, because at least find out if she's got like abilities or whatever. So they just basically like toss her aside. Also, because they don't understand her power. They don't know what an RV is. I'll just say now, because we do find out more about it. Our girl can summon an RV that can cloak and be hidden, and food just gets reappears there. She doesn't need gas to run it. She can transport stuff and then make it appear and disappear. Like, dungeon exploration is just going to be really easy for her. Our girl can just kind of like, she's just got an incredible cheat. So she's fine with being abandoned, because she's just like, okay, I guess I'm just going to start camping in my cool RV. She's already a good cook. She has another skill called survival. That basically, this is an important thing that we don't get a lot in isekai. We kind of overlook it. Survival just means that she has knowledge about surviving even in a place she's never been to before. But it also means that, like, she's not going to have a mental breakdown from her life being different and her suddenly being in a fantasy world. Like, she's going to be able to survive this. And that is overlooked, I think, in a lot of these shows. So that is at least a cool thing to have any kind of mention. So she can identify dangers, and she can make a camper van. Also, I must inform you that our girl Rin has nicknamed the camper van Campy. So we already got Campy. It's already the best new character of the season. But she can only summon it outdoors, which is fine. Campy is like the TARDIS. It is bigger on the inside. It's got a refrigerator that restocks food, unlimited water. It cleans itself. We just got raided by Puppet Jared. Thank you so much, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. Hello. I am talking about, a couple things. One, welcome, Raiders. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good time over on the stream. Okay, so this. Ooh, was I supposed to put that in? We'll see. I think I can put this in there. I am working on a model kit from a company called SNAA. I have never built a kit from this company before. So I'm kind of figuring my way. This is a Chinese company. This is an original design. It is called the Iron Sickle. It is basically they're making a bunch of night-themed kits for Knights of the Round Table, and one of them is the Iron Sickle. And I love a good scythe, so I was like, I'm going to get this. And I wanted to find out how this company was doing. So far, the instructions leave a little bit to be desired, but it's still manageable. It's still understandable. Jared, we're getting an update on the watch along here. Dalmon fought Neo Nepal and decided the murderer didn't have to go to jail because he was sorry. Yeah. Look. I feel like you can't brush off stuff like that. But everybody that's in that tournament has a lot going on, you know? Just like a lot going on. There's like a lot of big picture stuff. Dalmon's just there trying to track down a guy, and I won't say more than that, but he's trying to find a guy. You know, he's just looking for somebody. Everybody's just trying to figure their shit out. We will not rest until we get a model kit of every mobile fighter from G Gundam. I mean, God, that there have been some weird ones. I do think Neo Canada Gundam we should get. We're not getting the Bolt. I'll tell you that right now. The Bolt is just that's never happening. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say. I shouldn't say never, because that's silly to say never. Never say never. It is unlikely that we will get the the Bolt, the Gundam Bolt. Modern realities say we probably won't. Yes, we could get the Canada Gundam, the Neo Canada's Gundam instead. They could and should probably just replace those. But yeah. It makes sense that it's going to be like, yeah, that probably isn't going to happen for a while. This part I was supposed to slide in, and so I have to open this up. I fucked up. Look, yeah, the Windmill Gundam, yes, the Windmill Gundam would be, that would be a fun thing to exist, yes. I also don't know if they would make the Neo Mexico Gundam. I don't know if they would make that Gundam. They might make that Gundam. The Tequila Gundam. The Mermaid Gundam's pretty good. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I was talking about some new, hey guys, there's new anime, obviously, y'all, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. There are a lot of new anime out, and some of them are cool as hell, and some of them are just cozy and fun. And I was talking about a cozy anime called, say the full fucking title because it's a mouthful. Wow, Pat, come on, you can do this. I'll do it. Here we go. The Forsaken Saintess and her Foodie Roadtrip in Another World. The title tells you everything you need to know. Our girl, Rin, got accidentally summoned into a fantasy world. And they were like, you're not the person we need. She is the person they need. They fucked up real bad. And so they ditched her. And she was like, okay, well, I can summon an RV anytime I want. The RV that she is nicknamed Campy, camper van Campy. And it restocks with food and can store a bunch of stuff and can be invisible if I don't want to be perceived. And so she's just like, I can already cook. I guess I'm just going to have a slow life in this world and see what's up. Okay, I will explain this. I will do my best to explain this to you as concisely as I can. For the past, let's say 10 years, maybe more like 6 or 7. Anime titles, sometimes, often, have gotten longer and longer and have almost become complete sentences or sentence fragments. And you might wonder, what the fuck? Why is that happening, Pat? And the answer is that these anime are based on sometimes manga, but more likely they're based on light novels with the same name, the same long name. And the idea is, made more sense 15 years ago than it does now. If you are going into a store to buy light novels, you see the book on the shelf, and you turn your head a little bit, or you read it down because, kanji and all that, and you can read the title, The Oblivious Saint Can't Contain Her Power. The Forsaken Saintess and Her Foodie Roadtrip in Another World. And you go, oh, that's what that's about? Cool. I have joked previously that the manga Bleach, if it came out in 2026, would be called the human who became a Shinigami to save his family, or something to that effect. The hero of the Soul Society is a high school student, or something to that effect. The guy who frowns all the time is secretly a hero. Something like that. Because you would want people to go, oh, that sounds cool. Whereas Bleach is just a word in English that a guy thought sounded pretty cool. Because in those days, you could just do that. Are light novels more like short books, or specifically young adult novels? So they don't have to be young adult novels. They are in many ways like small books. They are like novellas. They are sometimes light numbers, because there will be numerous chapters that come out that sometimes they're on web pages, or websites, I should say, or now apps. And of course, when they come out, they often come out digitally. But the title and the cover art is hopefully going to draw you in, because you're going to go, I love the idea of a girl who is just abandoned and going to make her own food and travel across the country, this fantasy world, having good times. That sounds awesome. I started reading this manga because the title sounded fun. Makes more sense to going to Barnes & Noble, and now every book in fantasy section is called Soul and Bone, the Requiem's Heart. Yes. Fantasy book, Western fantasy books sound like the names of video games now. That's what they went for, yeah. And then you have to read, on the back of the book, you can read and find out that it's the 4th book in a series of 10 books. Planned 10 books, and it's the 4th books in the series, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I need to find the other ones. Let me see if I can find the other ones. This piece is being very annoying. I can tell you right now. I've been talking as well, but it's still been very annoying. I'm just trying to finish the head of this kit. Okay. Let's see if I can do that now. So this anime, which is started up, it's on HIDIVE, the streaming service HIDIVE. And basically, our main character got summoned by mistake. She wasn't summoned by mistake. The other girl was summoned by mistake. But whatever. The powers that be judge her as being like not the one they're looking for, and they're like, you can just get out of here. But now she has an RV and she can go on adventures, and pretty quickly she meets this ogre guy. And by ogre, I just mean he's kind of demonic looking, but he's mostly just a handsome guy. He's mostly just handsome. Vile is just kind of a handsome dude, just kind of a pretty boy. And so they start talking, and they're kind of vibing. Immediately, we get the sense that, like, oh, okay. Oh, it's this kind of, all right, yeah. We get to watch them slowly fall in love and stumble as they do that. Cool. That's cute and fun, and I like this. So that's what it seems like. And Rin is just like, hey, so I'm not from this world. I don't have any money. I don't know if I can even get into town or work. Can I get a job? I'm kind of fucked right now. She doesn't swear, but it's implied that she is being realistic. That like, yeah, I don't know what to do. Kind of at a loss for what to do. And Vile's just like, well, you can make this is the best food I've ever eaten in my life. So why doesn't my party hire you to prepare meals for us? Because it's a he'd be like, you be doing us a favor because getting that done is a goddamn nightmare. And we got a place to live. They get attacked by crows, and we find out that Rin doesn't have defense magic or attack magic or anything like that. She's a support, which makes sense. Oh, this is not snapping together right. Sorry. I would really love to finish this fucking head here while I talk about this anime. Okay, let's put it like that. Let's see if I can get this to fit together right. I gotta get these pieces to line up properly, like this. Yeah, so as I said earlier in the stream, some of the tolerances on this kit are not excellent. But they're working out. The monsters get defeated by Vile. You can get drops because it's a fucking fantasy world, so of course. And they start traveling. They get to the city of El Rage. We find out that the camper van can cloak, which is cool. And they take a detour, and they end up running into the party, the rest of the party, because they get attacked by a fire bear, which, so I'll just say right now, the monsters don't look great in this show. The budget is going to the food that gets prepared, looking excellent. The CGI monsters don't look awesome. This is not an action-first show. There will be action in it, but you kind of, like, I mean, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to, but it is a thing where I'm like, I have accepted. I'm like, it's not going to look great. Oh, I got this together. Excellent. I just know it's not going to look excellent because they're not putting their money into the fight scenes. But this bear that shouldn't be in this area, they get saved by the party showing up. The mage Arya, her husband Ed, and another character who seems like kind of a nerdy guy named Xenon. And then Vile joins them. They're going to fight this fire bear. And we learn at the end of the episode that the name of the party that Vile belongs to is called Smorgasbord. And I'll tell you right now, friends, having Japanese voice actors say smorgasbord is excellent. It's great. It's excellent. It's very fun. That is a small little bonus to hear that. I was just like, ooh, that sounds great. And so, yeah, I mean, it's one of these, right? It is a slow life. There will be some adventure stuff, but mostly it's going to be about her making food they've never had before and them loving it. And then Vile and, or Vile, and Rin maybe falling in love. It's cozy. If that's not to your taste, I understand. It is to mine. I did watch an episode. I'm going to save this for Saturday. I'll talk about this on Saturday because I really want to dig deep into it. But I'll just say, as a not a spoiler, as a teaser, holy shit. If you do not have Amazon Prime right now, when this show is over, and it's going to be apparently 10 episodes, when this show is over, just get Prime for a month or get a login from somebody. Do what you got to do. Do whatever you need to do. I'm not going to talk about the other option There is another option. I won't say that one. But there are those options. The Ghost in the Shell. There is a new Ghost in the Shell anime. Episode 1 is out. It is simul-dubbed, so there's a dub. I've only watched the subtitled version. The subtitles are mostly good. There is a bunch of text that gets dumped in episode 1 that I had to pause a bunch to read. This is based on the manga. It is based on the source material. It is from Science Saru. They have made incredible anime. They are a studio that I'm just like, yeah, I'll watch whatever they're doing. They're one of the studios that just makes incredible anime. Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin is a phenomenal. Devilman Crybaby they did. Sanada is like their weakest adaptation, I think, and that's just because I don't really like the source material, but they did fine with that. Like Dan, like they are an unbelievable company. It looks like the manga come to life. If you've only seen Standalone Complex, and that is all you know about it, you might be like, hey, why is the Major fun? Why is the Major a fully... Wait, was the Major not a fully... Like, there were moments where she was kind of fun, and she was more than just the best, most talented person in the room. And then you're like, yeah, this is the manga version of her, and it fucking rules. So I think Standalone Complex is phenomenal, and that is a cyber adventure, cyberpunky, like techno futuristic thing that I think is fantastic. But I understand if people are not into it. I get that. This is a fucking adaptation of the manga. Some modern sensibilities moved around here and there. It is, the first episode is like a welcome to this fucking world. Here we go. It is fast-paced and frenetic, which is also as the manga is. It is dumping a lot of information at you. It is a throwback art style that I think is phenomenal looking. I am thrilled by how this fucking anime looks. Okay, why isn't this piece going together right? Sorry. I think it looks fantastic. I am blown away. I will talk in depth about it on Saturday here on Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. But I think it's great, and I highly recommend it. It is immediately just fucking so cool. Okay. This piece was not lining up well, and so I am going to try again. As I said, some of this is tolerances. I think there's just like not a lot of wiggle room here. You have to like line it up just perfect, and I think I'm used to Bandai where you can, you know, he still has to be good, but you can, there's a little bit of wiggle room because they are a more established company, because they've been around longer than SNAA. They've had more experience. But yeah, I've had to do a little bit of modifications here and there on this to get this where it needs to be, and it's a little frustrating. Okay, so yep, this should be attached in the front here. There is like a little bit, there's a gap here that should not be there. We have a little bit of time left on the stream here, not a lot. I do want to just say thank you to everybody that showed up on Tuesday for my Tuesday stream where I played the new Hearthstone expansion. I have modified the decks. I had a good time. I was even at the end of that stream, so I had as many wins as losses, which I always feel good about because I was playing brand new decks that I'm not super familiar with that are not optimized. I even did a little bit of deck doctoring during the stream and tried to figure out how like to improve it. My Paladin deck, which is a stupid combo in my Infinity attack combo, I have changed that deck around a little bit and added more draw to it, and it's better. It's a better deck than it was. Yep, this is just not working. I don't know. There shouldn't be this gap here, and I don't know how to fix that. I think I'm going to try to take this side off and put this one on first and see if that fixes it. I also can just do this on my own. But yeah, thanks to everybody that was here on Tuesday. I appreciate that. If you came here on a raid, part of the raid, you can always hit the follow button. I would appreciate that. I built model kits and Lego sets mostly on here. Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern to around 11 p.m. Eastern. That is when I stream. And then on Tuesdays, I do something that is not model kit building. It is often video games. But I do try to mix up some stuff and do some different things on Tuesday. All right, so if I put this piece on first, there is like, it's not lining up right, and I don't know why. I'm confused as to why it's not. Lord Crashington finished up the Dressrosa arc in One Piece. And Luffy's stuck in a big metal ball in mini filler arc. I forgot that half the crew was not even on the island. Yes. Yes. At some point, Oda was like, you know, it's hard to balance this fucking pirate crew. And if I split them up, then I can introduce new people that are temporary members. Which is a cool idea. So, if I look at it like this, this also has that. Yeah, all right. I don't know why. This just isn't working the way I want it to work. Frustrating. Oh, let's go on the side here. This is frustrating. Because I don't know why it's not... I don't know why it's not snapping together right. And I'm not... This is one of those things where, like, when it's Bandai, I just assume that I'm fucking up. Usually my first thought with Bandai is, oh, I'm doing this wrong. I'll figure it out eventually. In this case, it could be that I'm doing it wrong. It also could be that this is just, like, not correct. There could be another reason why this isn't working that has nothing to do with me. Yes, Dressrosa is one of the biggest examples of, wow, there are just a lot of fucking people here, huh? So much so that, like, towards the end of Dressrosa, where everybody's, like, hanging out, and they all want to, like, be a part of the larger crew, and you're like, shit. I don't remember this punch guy and this kick guy at all. Who the fuck are these guys? I'm like, oh, wait, no, I do remember these guys. Okay, it's been a while since I saw these dudes. There were a lot of like, oh, yeah, that guy. Okay. All right, I think this is just going to be slightly off, and I'm going to be mad about it. Because I can't get this any closer. If you really look, you can see there is a gap here that should not be here. There should not be this gap. I cannot figure this gap out. I do not know why this is happening. But I'm going to put the last piece on here. And hopefully, you know what? Hopefully when I put this back piece on, it'll pull it together and it'll just work. Yeah. It's Lucid him. Okay. So I press this down. Yeah, unfortunately the back, that didn't fix it. I don't know why this is like this. It just is, and that sucks. Kind of trim a little bit here. Yeah. I don't know why this is like this, but it is, and it's a bummer. There's just a gap there. And maybe that is just a thing that I'm going to have to live with. You know what I'll say? I didn't want to live with it, but maybe I have to. I will panel line this head on Saturday. I am just going to snap these pieces kind of together. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there are any pegs that it doesn't look like that's the problem. My thought is that maybe this part of the face here that I could like trim the front edge of this side piece and that would fit, and it's not the pegs that are a problem, but maybe it is. Maybe it's because this all like looks like it's fine and works. And the face piece looks in, like all of this looks good. So like, yeah, and this is trimmed here. I don't know. Trim that down a little there. Let's do that. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna fix it. Yeah, that still didn't fix it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it might be that. I don't know. I can play around with that on my own time. So I'm just going to kind of put this together, even though it doesn't have the armor, so you can just kind of see what it looks like with the frame. Because now I'm going to be start slowly, in the next couple streams, I'll be slowly adding more to this, to the skeleton here and adding armor and stuff. But this is what this kit looks like as the inner frame. And I'm going to have a nice photo of this. A little janky, but mostly cool. Oh, that piece. As I go to adjust the arm and a piece just comes off. Again, a little janky, but mostly a cool little design. But yeah, I can do this on my own time. I can try to fiddle with filing pieces down a little bit and putting that together. Anyway, now I just really want to get this arm back on properly. So let me just do that, and then we'll wrap up the stream after that. But yeah, on Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll be back. And we'll start with panel lining the head with markers, and then we'll put armor on the chest, and then armor on the waist. It's got a big old butt. Armor on the legs and build the side skirts, put those on. The arm armor, the leg armor, and then after all of that, then we build the weapons, the shield, and all that. The various components that I still need to build, and the stand that it comes with, and we'll figure out if that actually works and is anything good about it, because often stands like from companies like this are garbage. So we'll find out if this is also garbage. Come on, where this piece? There it is. Okay, now I can. Now I can put the arm on. All right. So yeah, look at this thing. Wild little skeleton. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Again, if you came in on the raid and you haven't already, hit the follow button. I would appreciate that. I would love to... sorry, 1 second here. Okay. I would love to be able to talk to you again on another time. We are going to go on a raid. I'm going to go find somebody doing stuff we want to go hang out with, and we'll go spend a little time with them. Just like, you know, we got raided. We have to share the love and go and see what people are up to, who's doing stuff, who's out there making it happen. Hey, Games Done Quick is happening. Summer Games Done Quick is happening right now. They're doing Elden Ring. This is so we'll go see however the fuck Elden Ring happens, what an Elden Ring speed run looks like. I think that'll be fun. So let's go to that. I have not been watching enough of it. I'm going to watch some of the streams later, the archives on YouTube. It's a co-op race. Hell yeah, that sounds rad. So let's go check in with Games Done Quick. Next stream for me will be Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. continuing to work on this model kit, putting some armor on this thing. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.